YouTube, because otherwise things are going to get noisy.
Yes, that's a good point. It's going to
okay.
Once it goes live, you'll start hearing us, and it's got a 10-second delay between what happens here in the studio and what's broadcast out to YouTube.
Wow, the latency is pretty
So
good.
how do we? Where do we do that? How do we do that?
On the YouTube window,
So once
you
it goes
can
live,
find
Gotcha.
on the screen,
Okay.
there's an audio button.
Yeah.
all right.
fascinating
Everybody's got the YouTube muted.
Sounds like it. Otherwise, you'd hear it.
Otherwise, we'd be hearing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffering for anyone else?
Pardon?
My face is stuck on this really unflattering frown, and I've just got the circle spinning around in the YouTube window.
Yeah. So
It's working
Yeah,
fine.
you
all
can-
five of us.
I think you can edit your
Maybe it's my
audio avatar. Sorry.
How do you do that?
I'm
You
just
can see
trying
you
to
moving the values.
remember. No. But yeah, you're definitely moving for us.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's something to remember. When you're using this and sending it out and then coming back with YouTube, it probably uses a fair bit of bandwidth, maybe. Since you're doing both, you wouldn't normally be doing both at the same time.
So you can hear me talking?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm just getting my head around it. So they come into StreamYard, then we go to YouTube, and then we can hear everything. So if Dawn's looking at this and doing it, she can't see the StreamYard chats. Oh, she can just click over.
Chat she will see. The private chat she will see.
Okay.
As far as output, whatever's in that kind of main screen. So depending on what format we've got, that's what is actually going out to YouTube.
Yep.
So for speakers, that's how they'll know who's on screen. So for example, put it in a solo layout like that.
While the videos at the bottom are highlighted blue, we can still hear people.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just doing a little test and sending a comment in the YouTube one.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Questions,
go to the top.
Yeah.
The right-hand side, comment.
Yep.
I can see that.
So
and we can also do this. So
What
we
was
can
that?
actually put that into the live stream.
Yeah,
You
yeah. Yep.
Chantel, question.
Yep.
Or unhide. Disappear it.
Okay, so I can see where you mean that Dawn will probably be just concentrating on the private chat.
Yep.
So how we need to think of how we can direct any comments that come up. Do we just say, I'm just trying to think of an easier way to do it. Do we just send her a text saying check comments, then trying to rewrite?
We might want to get them into the private chat, maybe, or because there could be a lot. And so they're not moderated; they come straight through from YouTube. Is that right?
Yes, they do. From here, they absolutely do.
Okay, so we could
We
copy
could
and
hear
drop
it
it in which ones we want to go through.
Yeah, it'd be an idea to
Into the
curate them
private.
somewhat.
So if I,
The other option is we can, again, add them to the stream, and then they'll come up here in the screen with the person's name to actually ask, and then that can be the cue to read the question, if that's something that you're interested in doing.
yeah, okay.
That
Do you
will
mean
come up
putting
as
them up so
visible.
everyone can see them, or?
On the
Yeah,
video.
so that they come up in the live stream as well. Yeah,
Hmm.
Mm.
because we have to actually select which ones come up for that to happen.
That wouldn't give Dawn any choice whether to answer or not, would it? If it goes up on the screen, or
That's
the
true.
panel members, they'd be committed to
Yeah,
have to
that's
deal with
true.
whatever that hairy question was.
And you could copy, yeah, maybe copying and pasting into the private chat.
Yeah, well, if that's what I just did. Did that actually work?
Yep, did.
Yeah, I just
Question,
copied
question.
my question, yeah, and put it across. So that means someone from whoever, ABS or whoever it is
Hmm.
monitoring the questions on the live broadcast. And then, okay, we just say, okay, for example, I copy Penny's questions. I put it over to the StreamYard, press private chat, and I'll go send, and that means I've got Penny's I have a question in there for Dawn.
Yep.
I think that's probably the best way to go. Then she doesn't have to look at phones. She doesn't have to look at anything.
Yeah, it's all just in the same single screen.
And maybe just before we do that, we say, each time we say, what do we do? Maybe if we go, we'll just say question 1, that, and then question 2, just so they're not looking at, they know there's a,
Yeah, it's probably
New
worth
question.
also having the name in it.
pardon?
It's often with these, it's worth doing the username. So Q2,
Oh, yeah.
whatever the question is, by Trudy or whatever.
Oh, yeah. And also we might have to direct the question to the person there. They might
Yeah.
actually want to have a question for Peter or something like that.
Yeah.
Questions. Yeah. I'm just going to see if I can do a snippet, a screenshot of that. Just for an example for us, so in case we have to show anyone, like tiny or something. Oops.
Absolutely. And so also we can preload the video that Ellen has been working on for you guys, if that's something you want to show on the day. If we do run it this way, it mutes everybody and it will just run. So I'm about to terrify you all with a very chipper countdown, but I won't run it for the full 30 seconds. But yeah, so it also lets you know at the top that the mic is muted while the video is running.
Okay. So we're sort of, we still haven't got feedback from people yet, but we're probably having that, just say if there's, 6, 8 questions. That video we may want to run probably after the 6th question. So just to break up the questioning. So once we have clarity on that, do you agree, Mary?
Yeah, we definitely want to play that video at some point during the live stream, and we're thinking it could be a good way to break up the panel discussion, and also kind of something for them to, like launch off instead of just playing it at the beginning, because it's going to be talking about some of the things some of the topics that they're going to be talking about. So we thought it's best if they go first for a bit, but then maybe it'll be good to go to a different sort of visual for a little while and different people, and then they can come back again. And so that'll be reflected in the draft run sheet. But like Sean said, we're still getting feedback about that. And the other thing that we originally had was we're going to use it as a kind of a screensaver up on the screen behind the panel members when they were going to be actually physically in the NMA up on the stage. It's just like a pretty amateur data visualization, like an animated population pyramid with census counts going through the years, and like a couple of so I guess the question is whether, like, would we just play that? We should preload it, thanks, once we've finalized it, but should we play that in a similar sort of a way to break up the discussion, or would it be something that we might want to have as a backdrop behind the panel members? If it's not too busy and distracting, you'd probably need to see it to get an idea about that.
I don't know that we can do a moving backdrop, and you'll see a lot of the time you might kind of lose that visual. So I have done a background using your the ABS Indigenous art piece. But I mean, I can certainly have a stab at something with statistics in it, but I don't know that you'll see a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly
Depending
run
on
it to
the
the
video.
side, I think. You could have it in like a kind of a screen to the side with the speakers on one side. That could be doable.
I'm thinking it's going to be too busy, Mary. It will take away the concentration of everything.
It might be a bit distracting potentially. It's not that fast moving and it's not that long, but the other thing we could do is bring it into the run sheet. Oh, like what? A minute or so, probably.
A minute, about a minute, and it just repeats itself. So maybe it could even be the what did you call it? The screen weight.
Yeah, I was thinking you could run it at the beginning prior to going live.
Yeah, like a screen holding screen.
Like that.
Yeah. I think that might work better.
Does it have any audio behind it, or is it silent?
No, it's silent.
Yep.
Does that make it a good screen weight or a bad screen weight?
Either. We could probably put some music with it. That way, if people have got their YouTube open, some music starts, and they're like, okay, that's
the sound's working.
Well, maybe we could use Chayden's music on very soft that I got for the video, but then we're repeating the music from the video, but that shouldn't matter. Then it connects it, I suppose. Alan has that music, Penny.
All right. Yep.
Or I can send it to you, whatever way you want to do.
I mean,
I'll just send it to you.
To me, along with the part of visualization, if you've got that, and I can preload that for some of our other appointments. You can see how that looks and runs.
Okay. Well, we've got two. We've got a minute one and an 8-minute one. The minute one might be just too loud and too fast. You can just take a little snippet from the 8-minute, but I can discuss that with Mary outside this, if you like.
Yeah.
So
So your other option, if you wanted to include further information, is there is a screen ticker that you can run.
oh. Just a query. This doesn't have captions, does it? Can it do
Captions
captions?
go through YouTube. So
Okay.
YouTube, you can live caption, but no, you don't do it through StreamYard.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So are you saying that?
Yeah, so you can,
Yeah.
if you're interested in having some
Yep.
scrolling data or interesting facts, you could run them along at the bottom of the screen ticker.
Okay. Maybe you could even just put what. Oh, actually, I'll go back to YouTube. Could you have the panel members' names and who they are and where they're from going across?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Well, we're going to
also
have their names on the.
reloaded the
Sorry.
their full titles for the beginning part as well, if that's something that you can see that I've got those long form
Oh, yeah.
banners as well.
So when
Yeah,
you
I'm
show
not sure we
that,
want to have the screen ticker going the whole time.
no, I agree.
Yeah, so does that seem straightforward? You guys reasonably confident with how that looks and sort of straightforward from a user perspective?
Yeah, I'm okay
For
with that.
us?
Mary?
Yep.
Yeah. And with the questioning for Dawn and everything like that, Mary, you happy with that?
Yeah, well, I think probably the best option is to take it from the comments and put it in the private chat. And so we'll also be in here in StreamYard for the event, as in like Sean and I and Adrian, I assume. So that's right. So we'd be looking after that comments
I would
to private chat
suggest
questions thing.
Yep, I would suggest we can only have 10 people in a broadcast studio at the time.
Okay. Yep.
So we'll have the 4 presenters, and then so nominate maybe 2 people that you're happy to do question moderating, and because that whoever is in doing that will be not live in the studio, they'll be muted, so they won't be able to engage in the conversation. They'll just be able to see what's happening in the background.
So would we be in that backstage kind of category, or?
Yeah, so it would be like this. So you see how I've just grayed both of you out. You can talk now, but you won't be heard by anybody, but you can access the private chat. So if you go to the private chat, you should be able to right into that and enter whatever you need. So if you could jump in there and just confirm that that's working, beautiful. So the panel members will be active, and the production team will be grayed out at the bottom.
And we don't have to do any of that. You'll do that for us, Penny. Like we don't have to mute ourselves or.
Yeah, we'll take you out basically.
Might-
We'll
Yeah.
take you out of the screen.
Do
We
we need
don't
to
have
have
to-
ourselves on mute to be safe, or
Probably a good idea to do
it looked
that
like that
anyway.
worked
Yeah.
really well?
I mean, you
Okay.
could probably
Mm.
you could probably turn your cameras off and mics off anyway.
Yeah, it'll save on the
Might save some
video.
bandwidth.
It'll
side
reduce
of things as
bandwidth.
well,
Yeah,
the data
reduce the amount of
side.
bandwidth.
So if I did that again and then you just remove me.
Yep.
I think, yeah, we can mute everyone. I'm not sure if we can actually turn people's cameras off.
No,
We can only mute
I
people.
don't think so.
Okay, so maybe we just connect via
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then you might have to turn your own camera off.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll log in early enough that we
Yeah,
can.
yeah, I'd
get that sort of
probably
things
connect
out
with
of the way.
it.
Yeah,
I'd
and then
probably
we can
connect
go
with
out
it
and come back
working
in.
just in case for whatever reason. Yeah.
And like honestly, I don't think anyone's like, you're not going to forget that because most people are nervous enough about live broadcasts. They're not going to.
Very
not gonna
happy to
forget
have
the
the
cameras on,
mic
I think.
and the camera turned
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
I don't think it'll be an issue.
true that.
So if panel members want to put a screensaver or something behind them, are you able to do that in here?
So I sent through some notes with Mary suggesting that people don't do that because
Yeah.
it's intensely distracting when you're watching the live stream.
Yeah.
So part of those initial meetings will be finding a place where they're happy to broadcast from with whatever their backdrop happens
Good.
to be.
Yeah.
rather than trying to organize green screen backdrops because they're
They're blurry. They're not good.
blurry and
Yeah.
they're very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to reinforce that because a lot of them do like using that. But yeah, no, that's great. Thanks, Penny.
Yeah, no, so I don't know if I think I sent it to all of you, but it's like a little speakers information pack. It's like find somewhere that has a backdrop where you're happy to be. Soft furnishings are really good for stopping the sound bouncing around and all that kind of stuff. But we'll go through that with them in the pre-stream checks as well. All right.
Awesome.
Okay, so that's what it will look like once the broadcast is ended. The studio will stay live. So I'm just going to wind up the broadcast there.